afternoon, and welcome to another installation of Let's Get Real. I'm the host, Sonia Woodard, and our topic today is Are You Really Listening? I'm joined today with our different panel. We're going to introduce Brother Rufus. You can wave your hand, Brother Rufus. We have Sister Pamela. We have Brother Reese, Sister Chanel, and Sister Alexis and Brother Anthony. He's going to join us a little later. And today we're going to get into interpersonal relationships that we have. And those relationships don't necessarily just cover um, married, girlfriend, boyfriend kind of things. It covers parents and siblings and friends and even enemies. How we communicate and how we are we really listening to what's being said, and are we taking in what we hear is what's really said. And so we're going to get off into that today. And I want to open with a word of prayer. I don't know if anybody wants to pray, or I'll just pray if nobody wants to volunteer. Go ahead.
Father, we just want to thank you for allowing us to be able to come together and discuss topics that our youth and church family and those that are watching the stream sometimes have a difficulty discussing. And so hopefully the different guests that are on today will be able to bring a different outlook on our conversation, our topic today. Be with our host as she moderates this whole panel, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much. Um, as we begin, I was, it's been a lot of stuff going on lately, especially in our world. And so there have been a lot of debates on different things, from COVID to voting to relationships within our home. So I want to put out for the first question, I want to ask, how many times have you had a situation where someone has said something to you, but you haven't truly heard what they've said? I know that I've been guilty of that, where I had to stop and say, wait a minute, did you actually say to me such and such and such? Where the person like, no, that's not what I said. What I said was, and move on from there. So I want to start with Alexis today. Yes. As far as Alexis, when you are having a discussion, maybe with your mom or maybe with Anthony, and you all are talking, do you actually hear what he's saying? As far as, okay, did you hear me? I said such and such. Did you take it wrong?
Oh, answer now. Okay. I
Yeah,
feel like most times I don't go, I'm going to say overboard with the question and answering, but sometimes I am more sensitive, right, to people who are closer to me. So if my mom says something like, like, you going outside like that? I'm like, what do you mean I'm going outside like that? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Or, like, I have a heightened sensitivity to those people versus if somebody random was like, you going out like that? I'm like, yeah, I'm going out like that. What you want? Like, you know what I'm saying? But so yes, but no, but yes.
Okay, wait. How can we be no, but yes, but
So sometimes it depends on also the situation. Am I listening to rebuttal or am I listening to listen? So it all depends.
so you're saying that you're sensitive to what your mom may say,
Yeah.
but as a friend may say the exact same thing, questioning, say, your outfit
Yeah.
choice. And so you're going to take it personal if your mom says it, but you're not
Correct.
going to take it personal if your friend says. You're going to be like,
Correct.
speed
Yeah,
bump.
like you hating on my, style basically. But yeah, so I think I listen for the. Do you think I listen?
Yeah.
He says he thinks I listen.
Okay.
So I listen without most times being oversensitive or emotional. I know how to just listen. Hmm? You
Okay.
scared? No, there. Hey, how you gonna say ignore? He just said ignore. I ignore a little bit. But
Okay, Anthony's gonna have to get on the screen if we're gonna have this,
are you
round
gonna?
robin kind of thing.
Okay, he's right here.
Okay. All right. So, Anthony, you feel as though Alexis is actually listening when you are talking to her, and she's getting the gist of what you're saying.
Yeah, she'll listen to you, but it doesn't mean she's gonna do whatever you mention.
Okay. 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 All right. Okay. I,
That's
I,
what.
I can see that. All right. I'm going to throw it to Brother Rufus. So, Brother Rufus, when you are getting feedback from people, are you like Alexis? Are you hearing? Or are you like, okay, yeah, whatever?
Sorry, wrong button. Um, so right before it's kind of funny that this is the first question out the gate. Right before I got on this right before I got on this panel, I had a difficult phone call, and for me, the conversation was difficult for me because of who it's coming from.
Okay.
And it's always going to be like that. If someone says to me, just like Alexis says, if someone said to her, "Hey, your outfit is not really that," and she didn't really have that connection with them, it'd be a different thing. But if Anthony said something to her about her outfit, she'd probably be like, "What you trying to say?" And so it's all about who it comes from. The person I was having a conversation with was basically calling me out, and I didn't expect that from that person. You understand what I'm saying? Because of the years that we have worked together, and he knows my dad, and that interpersonal relationship. So it's all about who you deal with and how you deal with them. I'm a biggest person to talk about relationships because they help you determine how you're going to deal with that person. There are certain things that you would let slide with someone you know that you wouldn't let slide with someone you don't know. It's like, wait, what'd you say? Hold on. You don't even, and what do we always say? You don't even know me like that. And
Right.
that because you don't know me like that, you don't have that realm, you don't have that space to even speak to me in that tone, in that area, and that conversation. You just don't have that right. I haven't given you that pass. So things affect you, especially from our parents. I know when people say certain things to me, it doesn't bother me as much. But when my dad or my mom say something to me, it bothers me a little bit more. It gets on me, and people are like, "Oh man, just blow it off." But it's like, no, it's not. It's your dad, it's your parent, and it's like, man, you're the one person I didn't expect to hear that from. But when I hear it from, it just bothers you. It just is. So I think with interpersonal relationships, and when somebody brings something, you really don't hear it unless it's from that person that you know, and that's when you really hear it, and that's when it really bothers you. And so it's all about the relationship.
It is. It really is. Okay, I'm gonna throw this over to Chanel.
So for me, I'm a little bit more on the sensitive side. I would say it definitely depends on the relationship as to how much I take it on, but I feel like I'm always like I hear what people say and then I internalize it automatically before I process it. So I'll take it on my shoulders, and then once I have a minute, I'll kind of dissect it. Okay, like it's almost like worst case scenario. Like I heard you say something, so let me take it worst case scenario first and kind of work backwards to try and figure out what you actually meant. So sometimes that's a little bit, detrimental, because if I feel like you said something that hurt my feelings, then I'm automatically like, okay, wait, let me take a step back. I might be a little bit more on guard. And then I have to work through that, or maybe ask more questions to try and figure out, okay, did you actually say what I thought you said? Did you mean what I thought you meant when you said that type of thing?
Okay. Okay. And now we're gonna go to Reese. Pam, you're last.
Pretty much have to agree with what everybody else said. Like, if I don't know you, what you said is irrelevant to me. I could care less. But if it's coming from somebody I know, I'll probably ponder on it a little bit, think about it, see if I need to correct the situation or whatnot. But if I feel like maybe I feel like you're tripping, then I'll give some more opinion to that instead of like taking on what you're saying. That's how I feel about that.
All righty. All right, Pamela.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to say this. We're all supposed to be grown in what we hear, but do we really hear what we really want to hear? As we grow older in age, we realize that some people can say what they can get away saying, and some people can't. I'm pretty much one of those. You might as well be careful what you say to me because I probably will come out on my face with you. So I'm gonna keep that pretty much real. No matter how old I get, I'm still gonna be one of those stupid ones that be like, "Did she just do that?" Because I'm gonna take what you said in the face value and how you say it, and I'm gonna answer you in that value of how you say it to me. Now, sometimes that may not be right, and then sometimes it just may be me. My brother will totally agree that it's probably just me, but it is what it's an environment that we're in. We tend to jump before we really listen. And to Alexis, I put on there, the man is telling his truth. We as women, sometimes we just ignore them. We really do. But they're not going to be able to tell us that. He can tell you that now because he in front of the camera. He can tell you that. But if it was behind the doors, he'd be like, "No, honey, you listen to me." So
Truth. No, he would tell me. He would tell me. He tell me.
I mean, but there's some of them that just don't know when or how. So it's all about us being grown in what we really do and how we really feel about listening. And sometimes I'm guilty of that. I don't always listen well.
Okay. But in doing that, okay. So I know, like I said, I can be guilty about that sometimes. But people, I'm going to give you a perfect example because I'm like Rufus. I feel like somebody came for me. Okay. Now I'm over here minding my own business. And I don't understand. People just seem to decide, oh, I could just say whatever I want to her. But now when I give as good as when I give as good as I get, that's when poor folks have an issue. I had someone come up to me and say, "Oh my gosh, you really gained weight." For real, that's what we're doing today. Now, mind you, the person that said it to me is not small. And I got to go back to Rufus. Rufus, you said it best. You don't know me like that. To be walking up and to say that to me. First of all, you could have framed it. My mom always says, kind of frame what you have to say. And you could have framed it better. You could have still told me I gained weight, but which really is not your business. But you could have still done it better. You see what I'm saying? And so a lot of times people give their opinions of other folk when it's not even solicited. And a lot of times it happens in interpersonal relationships. Um oh my gosh, Angel's making me laugh. Angel said, "Did you say welcome to the club?" Because I'm telling you, people just come from nowhere and make comments. And I'm like, but I don't do that. I don't walk up to you and say, "Oh, you're looking fat today." I don't get that where people feel they could do that. Go ahead, Pam.
See, that's where I would have to learn to. I would probably come out my face, and then you would get offended of what I said. I'm not that part of that Christian yet. I'm still getting there because I know we're supposed to be able to say things in love. You can't come to me like that because I know my face will say it quicker than my mouth. So I'm one of those, you could probably read my face before my mouth say it, and you better pray that my face say it before my mouth say it, because I probably will hurt your feelings. In church, out of church. You come to me that way, you best to come back and realize you're gonna get your feelings hurt.
But see, I don't understand why some people feel like they can get a pass. We're in the middle of COVID, okay? And we have social distancing for a reason. Okay. And it's nothing, and feel free anybody else to jump in here. It's not about the fact that I don't know you. I know you. But if we don't have that relationship, I don't see why you rushing up on me trying to hug me. Like, we're supposed to be like, let's dap it up or let's bump, whatever. And if I feel that I need a social distance from you because I don't know where you have been, just like you don't know where I've been, I think you shouldn't get offended. And you should allow whoever that person, whether it's me, anybody else, to have that sense of, even if it's false security. And you shouldn't be offended. So, we have to be careful how we treat other people because you want the same respect as you as you want given. And a lot of times people don't want to do that. I had someone, of course, I'm not gonna call their name. I came to church and I saw them. I said, "Oh, hi!" I greeted them. They said, "No, I'm not gonna give you anything." Wait, hold on. It wasn't about that. It's about my safety level. And if it's okay that I feel that way, that's me. I'm not taking anything. So that person started speaking to me. Was that Christian? Was that Christ-like? No. I'm going to read Angel's stuff. And please, somebody else, feel free to jump in here. Angel said, I will never understand folk being comfortable with saying inappropriate verbiage with other folk they don't even say hello to. That truly baffles me. I'm right there with you, Angel. And then she said, using inappropriate verbiage, I should say. Okay. I'm right there with you because the things that people feel that they could walk up and say, it's just out of order. It's out of order. She said they'll be all right. So
I have to agree. I have to agree with Angel. I was going to comment on it before you even read it. Was that the inappropriate verbiage is it's a funny way to say it, but I think it ties in because I understand people with no filters. There's just people with no filters. My sister's one of them. I'm one of them sometimes. Most of the times, I'm just being humble, but we just don't have filters sometimes, and so. But we have to learn when those filters have to kick in, right? And so I remember a close friend of mine, if she was watching this, her name is Helga, and she doesn't have a filter. And so she told me one day, she says, bro, with people that I have a real personal relationship with, then I know that I can say what I want to say without no filters because we have that relationship. And I say to them, is now, based on who we are, I can be unfiltered with you. And I'm going to tell you how I feel. But right. Then she says, I had to teach myself to people that I didn't know. I couldn't just be me all the time. And she says, it's not that I totally changed who I was. It's just that I had to just filter it down or tone it down so that I still got my message across and I didn't change me. But I just realized that I couldn't be 100% unfiltered with them because they weren't able to take back the information that they just gave me, right? So they said what they wanted to say to me. And because of who I am, I just said what I said back to them. And I realized we don't have that relationship. So because we don't have that relationship, I went 100 on you, right? And so they couldn't take that, like my sister was saying, they can't take that back. And so I think sometimes people have to learn, when is it appropriate to say those things? Now, I understand we're saying the whole Christian thing, but let's just take that off the table. I think, period, okay, you should understand morally how to talk to someone, yes or no. Like I said, back to the phone call I had before I came here. The way you talk to me and the way I talk to you, and I know the thing that's going around, if you guys know the TV, where it says, why are you being weird to me? Why I'm being weird to you? Because you being weird to me, right? That's what that whole situation is that retaliation of how you talk to me is exactly how I'm going to talk back to you. And so we have to tie now the Christianity into it because now we have to add that little bit of love to it. But before we even get there There should just be a common respect to each other based on the relationship we have. And that's all I'm saying.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Now, Maurice, I know you're not sitting over here being quiet because let me tell you, I'm just gonna put my nephew here on blast for a minute. But he's the only person I know that's gotten kicked off of Facebook for some weeks because Maurice is outspoken. Now, love Reese, and he and I are we 100. I mean, he's always respectful. I gotta say that, always respectful with me. Maybe not with other folks. And I hear you, Brianna. Brianna's saying you should filter with everyone. It's not even necessary with friends and family. Are you saying it's not necessary for friends and family to filter? Is that what you're saying? Because I'm gonna tell you, Maurice can't talk to me the way he talks to people. Right, Reese?
Because you're a family, you understand? But like some people, Rihanna's tripping. Like some people just come at you crazy, so you gotta match that energy. You're not gonna disrespect me at all. So I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Like you could try somebody else down the street, but don't bring that energy over here. I'm gonna let you know straight up.
Oh, I thought you should.
It's not happening over here.
You should filter.
Y'all already know I don't have a filter. Like if you do something dumb, I'm gonna just let you know. Yeah, that was stupid. I don't know what you thought you was doing.
Because Maurice generally don't have a filter. And I tell Maurice, okay, it comes with age because people want to say sometimes that I don't have a filter, but I'm over here playing in my own sandbox, minding my business. People will come all the way over to my sandbox and say something crazy to me. And I'm like, wait, hold on. So do you want me to be real or do you want me to be real? Like, come on, Chanel, because dealing with Reese.
I feel like filtering too much is almost like being fake. You know what I mean?
Well, somebody
you're like trying to sugarcoat something for somebody instead of like just telling them how it is.
Filtering is not fake. Filtering is being.
Filter is not fake?
It's not specific.
Because how is filter not fake?
In my head should never.
Does my dress look bad? Yes, your dress looks bad. Don't wear that outside.
Well, you can say
you could have just left it at yes. You could have just said maybe something else will look better on you.
Right.
All of the extra wasn't necessary. Now their feelings are hurt.
Up right now, like you look like a homeless person. You don't have to go there with them. You know what I'm saying? You can just be like, hey, not today. Maybe tomorrow. Do I look fat? You know, maybe you did eat too many s'mores.
Don't ask me that.
You don't have to play into it. You know what I'm saying? Just be like, that outfit may be a shrunk in the wash. I don't know. Not today though. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to, because if we're gonna be 100% honest, my thoughts are crazy. Like it's like crazy things come through my head all the time, and I know they shouldn't say. And just because it's funny doesn't mean you should say it. Just because this and that does not mean you should say it. You know you don't say everything that pop in your head, sir. You know you don't. If you did, you would have no one around you ever. Because people
probably be in jail.
That's what Insania's saying. Like I filter the family, but outside of that, like nobody,
brutally
not
honest.
At all.
Nobody ever. Oh, she's so real. No, like she's mean. That's what it comes to. Because at some point, your thoughts are mean. They're mean. We all know it.
Yeah.
But let me just say this. Some people, and I see you, Pam, and jump right in after this. Some people say, well, that person's very quiet. No, not necessarily. Because they say that about certain family members or people that I know. I have a really good friend, and people say all the time, oh, she's so quiet and sweet. And I'm saying to myself, quiet? She just chooses to be quiet so that she doesn't tell people what she really thinks. And in relationships, sometimes the best thing is to sometimes just be quiet. It really is. Chanel, would you be so sweet as to read some of the comments for me? Because I know we've missed a lot. I think the last one is Robin Boucard. And read down for me, please. Bless you. And Pam, you can say something while Chanel's getting it. Oh, go ahead.
I'm seeing Brianna said it's not even necessary with friends and family. Some
Right.
people think that putting up filters being fake. Robin said, I'm blessed. I've not experienced such things like this, but if it ever does happen, mercy. Angel said, people confuse relation and relationship just because we have some commonalities. For instance, attending church and singing hymns together does not give you the okay to say whatever you want and how. Jamila says, Jesus was able to use his words to put others in their place in love. This should be our ideal. Our mission is to transform the world, not to be conformed to the world, right? Filtering is not fake. Speaking truth without disrespect is maturity. 100% agree. Just speaking your mind can and will get you into a lot that is unnecessary.
Now, I agree with a lot of what everyone said in the comment, but the thing about that people have not gotten to the point is we cannot speak without being real and being grown. There's a lot of us that don't want to believe that if I'm a grown person, I say what I want to say. You should be able to take it and not want to have a fight me or have words with me. It's just words. I said it how I feel it in my perspective, and that's how it is. But like I said, I'm not the one you may want to try sometime. And don't ever put me on the speakerphone because you never know what come out my mouth. Just telling you.
So I know that
I still believe filtering is fake.
No, because I have a friend who will say anything to me, but as soon as I say one thing back, it's like, oh Lord, how dare you come for my life? And you know what I'm saying? So what do? I just, we all can't stand those type of people though, right? Like who want to say anything to you, and then as soon as you say something, everything's so sensitive, everything's so heartbreaking, everything's so stressful. Like it's like, bro, and that's what.
Alexis, then to me, that person doesn't know how to have good criticism because you should be. If I ask you if a dress fit me, please don't make me look like a clown when you know the dress don't fit me. So if you're my friend and I'm asking you, that's a constructive criticism. That doesn't mean that we can't take it from each other. Because if you work in a job, corporate, and you're in a church, why are we not able to do constructive criticism and take it for what it is? It does not mean every criticism does not mean that you're literally criticizing a person. You're just giving an honest opinion. If I'm your friend and I see you and I see something, I'm going to say something. But you know what it is? We as women, we're taught the minute we say something to another woman, if I see a woman and she got some bad shoes on, I am one. Yo, girl, that shoes is tight. And it means nothing. But I had one girl and she was up there and I had to look at her like, wait, I'm not trying to sleep with you. I just said your shoes was cute. So why is it that we can't do those things and be nice? It's just a constructive. If you have a friend and you can say, but she can't say and you can't take it.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
I gotta talk to Reese's point on filtering is fake, and I'm only saying this because in the comments, Black Magma says filtering is self-preservation. Go up to a police officer and tell them how you really feel. You can be honest without hurting someone. Now, Reese, listen. I agree with you that filtering is fake to a certain point, up until this point. And I'm saying that because I agree with the comment. Filtering is self-preservation when you are going to preserve yourself from going the extra mile. For example, we filter ourselves in the form of respect. Those that do respect, because I've seen some kids who don't. We filter ourselves. I'm 42 years old, and I still filter what I'm gonna say to my mom in the form of respect. That ain't fake. It's still filtering, but it's now put into the form of respect for my mother. Because if I really told her how I really felt sometimes, I'd either one, not be on this panel, or two, probably in some institution, or three, probably still in a coma. So either way, all these things would happen because I said how I want to say. Okay, so we still filter to some certain respect, But where filter is fake to me is the people who feel that, thank you, Angel, the people that filter what they say or really don't say what they say they're filtering, but behind closed doors or to someone else, they're really saying all what they want to say about you. So to me, you're now taking filter and you're being two-faced. So you're like, oh yeah, you're good with me, Reese. You good, man. You good, man. That dude, that soft dude, he ain't even all that. I'm being fake to you. So yes, that filter is not me being real, but me being filtered so that i.e. one, don't go off on you, or i.e. two, don't disrespect my mom, or i.e. don't tell the pastor how I really feel, or i.e. tell this person. That's putting the preservation on me, because one of my mentor, he always says this, Paulette Howard, he always says this to me: it's not you, it's me. I have to control me. I have to control what I do in return on how you will respond. So if I snap, guess what you're going to do? You're going to snap. So I have to filter me to a process, because I know what I'm capable of, and everyone does. I always talk about, I'm a Gemini, so I always talk about that other twin. And I always say, you don't want to meet that twin. So I have to filter me. Am I being fake? No. But I got to self-preservate me, because if I let the other twin out, now we got a problem. And so now you're gonna wish I was fake, right? And so no, I don't even want that. So let's just self-preservate. And so we shouldn't have to, and Kama said before, we shouldn't have to have this relationship in order. And I believe it should just be something that we carry as human beings. But I will say this in the last comment. Chappelle said America has become, and that's really what it has, because we have become soft, where we really cannot say how we really feel. We have trained our youth to not be able to really speak how they feel. So what happens is that now Gen Z is saying, whoa, hold on. All these 400 years, all these 500 years, all these 600 years, you really couldn't tell the master how you really feel? Wait, you really couldn't tell your boss how you really feel? Wait, you really couldn't tell? So now Gen Z is like, no, man, I'm going to say how I feel. So that's why all these social media platforms is now coming out saying you should be able to be free and be able to say who you are, because Gen Z has realized all these years you really couldn't say what you really want to say. But now what does America do to it? They flip that other side of Gen Z and they tell Gen Z, hey, that can get you fired. That can get you canceled. That can get you terminated. Is that what you really want to say? Because what's happening is Gen Z is now the accountable. They are the accountable generation. They're saying, I'm holding you accountable for what you said. You say you're going to do this. That's what I'm looking for you. So I don't want you, like Reese says, I don't want you to be fake to me. But America is saying we can't allow that to get out of control, because then we'll just have a free-for-all. So we have to figure out, where is the balance on how we talk to each other, just in relation or relationship, period. That's all I'm saying.
I just want to go back to saying, for the black man, we're not saying being disrespectful to the police. Please do not take this conversation that we're saying that you need to stand up and be disrespectful. Reese, I see that face, but you have to be.
I mean, I just thought that was common sense. Sorry.
No, but sometimes you have to explain it, because people would take that what we're saying is being disrespectful, and that's not what we're saying. Because let me tell you, I have 2 boys and I have a daughter. I want them home each and every night. That is a prayer as a parent. And if you have family members and loved ones and they get stopped, you want them to come home. That smart mouth may probably get you killed. So you have to be careful. So we're not saying be disrespectful. No, you can say your opinion. But I saw on the internet the other day on YouTube, this older white black man was defending a young brother. They were just having a conversation, and the white cop hauled off and dragged that black older man. Now listen, my father is still alive. I have 2, and God knows I'm blessed. But if it was mine, He was defending a young brother. He wasn't talking for himself. He was defending a young brother. So think about what we say. It's sometimes when we say certain things as older people, they still can't understand what we're saying because he's defending. He don't know whose child he was defending, but he was defending. But he went to jail for that child, just for the cop not to take him to jail. He went to jail. So young people, this is what we're saying. You can speak your mind, but please make it home to your families.
I just want to jump in. I definitely hear what you're saying in terms of, I guess, relating to the police or having conversations and stuff with the police. But I think that goes back to the gentleman who just spoke about the sum of topics in terms of it being self-preservation. So part of it is self-preservation when you're having a conversation with the police. And then the other part of it is like a little bit of enforced respect, right? So I think what we're missing is the general respect for everybody who we encounter. We've talked a lot about like our reactions to other people's comments, right? When they come up to us and they're talking out the side of their neck and they're saying something crazy. But then at the same time, we also have to remember that sometimes we're in the initiating position. Like we have the ability to come out of the side of our neck and say something to somebody that may not be very nice. It may not, come out smooth. It might rub them the wrong way. We have to acknowledge that and accept that fact for ourselves. So that's the part that we can control. We can't control what other people say, and it has to start with us first of all. And it's just the baseline of respect. That's literally it. You cannot, like Alexa said, you cannot say everything that comes to your head. It's just not realistic. It's not realistic and it's not kind. And if you ever at any point in time hope to get your point across, then you're better off not being fake, but saying it in a way that the other person can hear. That's it.
Respect is earned, not given.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't take on that attitude with the police, though.
I'm
That's
tracking
why
the police.
brought in.
That's common sense. Like, it's okay. Like, I've always been
But
taught,
why?
like, it's better to be dead.
Alive.
I can understand exactly. Better to be alive and just play dumb, play sly, like you guys are saying. The whole respecting, just as if you were talking to your parents or whatever. Play dumb, like, oh yeah, you're right, officer. Okay, cool, got you. And then as soon as you get to court, it's game on. Like, oh nah, remember you was acting like this and this. Okay, got you now. I'm gonna get that lawsuit. You follow what I'm saying? Like, a lot of the cops are just like, they're just hiding behind the uniform. But the guy that got bullied in high school, so now they got a badge, they feel tough. They're not tough. But you just got to play dumb, or like you said, the respect for authority or whatever, whatnot. Just make it to court and you'll be fine. But outside of that, like you guys are saying, like a regular person on the street or whatnot, like I said, you got to earn my respect before I give it to you. So if I feel like I'm not being respected, we have nothing to talk about. Like you guys are saying, I won't even have to say anything. I don't even have to say anything to you. You come at me crazy, you're not giving me respect. We got nothing to talk about. I don't know who you're talking to, so I'm gonna just keep walking, go about my day.
Okay, but Reese, okay, in the day and time that we're living, and Mr. Brother Rufus, I'm gonna need you to read these comments now. Okay, here's the situation. Angel came for me because she said, "Ma'am, where's your glasses?"
Right. Yeah, she
Angel,
did call
I don't
you.
know where they are, but see, I have a relationship with Angel, so Angel can say that to me. I'm gonna laugh about it because I know it didn't come from her trying to be negative. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a difference. So we're talking about the police, but I'm talking about anybody. They have this stand your ground in the state of Florida, and people are getting shot. We had the incident where that person got off. Did I think they should have gotten off? No, they killed that boy. Killed those people. But that was how I felt about it. But we have to be careful, even with people in the street. Is what I'm saying, Maurice. Rufus, would you mind reading a lot of the comments? I don't know how far back they go because I don't have my glasses.
They go back a little ways, but I'm gonna hit the ones that are really important. We ain't gonna talk about where your glass is at, but we will. I already talked about the one from Black Nagla. And angels did say, put in a form of respect so that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. Jamila says, not just self-preservation. The way you say something also affects whether your message is received or not. If you want to be heard, consider how you choose to say it. Brooklyn Queen responded that, Reese, while I understand your stance, filter is not fake, Reese.
No.
Men communicate very differently from women. Men tend to be very straightforward and cutthroat at times. Sometimes. It goes both ways on that one. That's a whole nother episode. Giselle said,
Sometimes
love what you
cutthroat
said,
is needed.
Jamila. Right. Brooklyn said, filter is discretion and tact because of the society and world that we live in. Can it be fake? Yes, but it can also be real. Angel said that person wasn't insinuating that anyone was suggesting to be disrespectful. I believe they use that as an example. You can be disrespectful towards your own, and it doesn't have to be an officer. That is so true. A filter, by Jamila says, is discretion, having the maturity and wisdom to know where and when and how to say it needs to be said. Jamila, I was going to touch on that point when I saw that come across the screen. Very well, good point. Angel said people used to say respect is due to a dog. Jamila says respect is given more about that person giving it than the person is being given to receiving it. Brooklyn said, Reese, not everyone has common sense. Not everyone does. Common sense is not so common nowadays. I always say some people don't have sixth sense, and sixth sense is the common sense. Black Magma says, but that's how relationships work too. Better to preserve a good relationship by tempering your words rather than ruining something good by being real. And Angel said, so the police officer has earned your respect, but not a friend, loved one, family member, and a classmate. And how do you earn it? Maurice about to go off. He about to go off. That officer doesn't know you, Maurice. Come on, man. I will say this. Before Reese, because Reese, you look like you about to go. Let me just say this real quickly. And I'm just gonna bring a spiritual point to it because I always tell people that a lot of people always like, man, Rufus, I see you getting in fights, but they haven't seen me getting a lot of fights. Why? Because I believe that my words are more powerful than my fist. And I think that's the whole understand we have to understand. And I'm gonna tie that in with just this simple text. Okay. John 1, verse 1, it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And 3 times the word is said in there. And guess how powerful that was? He didn't say, in the beginning was me, and I said what I said and blew out the band. He was just saying that the word is powerful. So if the word is just that powerful, imagine what we say to each other. So we have not just the power of how we respond to people or how we talk to people, but we have the responsibility of how we choose the words that we say to others and how it will be received. I think earlier in the comments was saying they may not receive just because you're saying so much what you're saying. They may not be able to receive how you said it. So the message that you were trying to get across may not have gotten across because you automatically just put them on a defense by the words you chose to use. And so regardless of who it is, officer, mom, co-worker, boss, we have the power of words. And words is what controls this day and age, period. It goes back to what did you actually say? What did you mean by it? And did you have the opportunity or did you have the time to think about what you said? I was listening to a guy on a show the other day, and he says, I teach my kids the 10-second rule. And that is when someone says something to you, before you make a decision to respond, wait 10 seconds. Because if you respond before that, you may not say the right thing you want to say. Now, I don't want to say what he really was because I don't want you to take away from who he was and what he was by the message that he gave to his kids. Because somebody would miss that message on what it was. If I told you who he was and what he did all his life, you would miss the whole message of what the 10-second rule was, right? So listen how that powerful words was by what that example. So I think that we have to understand how powerful the words that we use both in our non-spiritual life, our spiritual life, our work life, our friends and family life, everyone that we deal with, we have to understand the power that we have just using the everyday word that comes from us. And I think once we understand that, we will really understand where filter now plays a part, and that it's not just fake.
Now you said a word. You said a word there. I thought I was getting ready to shout there, Rufus. All I know is when you're dealing with people, I don't think, like a lot of people said, filters are good. And I think a 10-second rule, like you said, is great. I think that I've learned to kind of just woo-saw when people come at me with all this negative energy. Now I can give the negative energy right back, but who is it benefiting? It's not benefiting you. It's not benefiting them. And at the end of the day, sometimes, and my husband used to say this all the time, David used to always say, sometimes, Sonya, it's better just to look at somebody and know you could have got them. Your facial, just looking at them and walking away, will speak volumes over you getting into a back and forth or a physical fight with someone, because half the time it's not even worth it. And most of yeah, I do need a call-in number. Hey, work with that.
Yes,
Hey,
we need
I
a
need
call-in number. We need a call-in number. Yes, we do.
We do. We do.
I saw it.
We do. When she said that, I was like, so true, because I really would love to talk, with other people. But we have to watch, because sometimes we could be entertaining angels and not even know it. And remember, one of the disciples, he was very outspoken. He said what he said, but he was still one of God's chosen. And even in everything we do, even talking to the dog, you don't go kick the dog because you're mad at the cat. You gotta come together. And a lot of times in a relationship, come on, Chanel, in relationship, sometimes I know Reese. Reese gonna just say what Reese. Come on, Reese, don't get off the block. Reese gonna say what he, and sometimes Reese may not have necessarily meant it the way I received it. So even as I have to go, what you say? And he'll be like, wait, no, I was just saying. I was like, oh. But I don't think all the time we hear ourselves when we speak to others. And so what I'm suggesting here in these last, because this one went quick, in these last 10 minutes, I think that we all could do a better job in how we talk to others. And see, I'm not too big to not go back and say to that person, hey, I'm sorry if I said it rudely, and it was not my intention. I'm not too big to go back and apologize. Some people are not going to apologize. They're going to just be real nice, and then fast forward, and you're supposed to be okay with that. No, I think you still should be humble enough to apologize, just like God humbled himself to wash our feet. He was the master of the universe. And if he could do it, what less can we do? Reese, go ahead. I should let you say something first, Chanel.
I'm not saying anything towards that. Like, I'm just backtracking to what was said about the cop. Nobody said I was respecting the officer. You just got to play dumb to get to court. I don't respect half of these dudes that's in uniform, because half these dudes fat. Like, I'm sorry, no offense. I didn't mean to put it like that. Half of these guys are out of shape. You follow what I'm saying? So they just hide behind a badge. So it's okay. You got me now, Mr. Officer. But when I get in court, I got you back, and I'm gonna get money, and you'll get fired. You follow what I'm saying? So it's not respect. That is zero respect. Same thing like I said earlier. Respect is earned, not given. Just because you're walking up to me in a uniform and whatnot, you still can respect me and treat me like a man. You feel like you don't have to do that, then so be it. And then back to what you said, like what Uncle Dave would say, like, if somebody's disrespecting me, sometimes I do have problems with that. I'll match their energy. You guys know that. I'll match their energy. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
you thought you could talk to me like that? Cool. So and so and so. And then a lot of times I've had to learn, just like, is he talking to me? I'll look at somebody else. That guy talking to me? Oh, okay, cool. He's not talking to me. I know he's not talking to me because they don't want, and so on and so forth. So I've had to work on that. I'm not gonna lie. I've
Yeah,
had to work
because
on
the
that.
older
But
you get and the more you are dealing with other people, you have to learn sometimes it's not even worth it. It's not
And
even worth it.
right,
and
it'll
I
just
think
lead down a rabbit hole and further problems.
I think reset comes down to the person too. And I'm saying this
Right.
because my sister knows this. I've been in contact with the officer of the law in many different forms. Okay. And it comes down to
Right.
the person. I'm one of those people that does not say all cops are bad. And I'm just, and we're talking about respect.
Right. I agree.
Just like,
I
you know,
agree.
you talk to some people because we're in the church and we talk to some people and they say, man, all pastors is bad. All they want is your money. And then really
Right.
not all pastors are bad. It really comes down to the person. And I agree with you. It's about the respect. There is a lot of people that get into the position and hide behind the badge, just like they at your job, just like they at
Exactly.
in the church. I got a position now in the church. You ain't getting paid for it.
So I'm
But
better than you.
you talk to me bad. You,
And you get paid for it.
you talk to me bad. You understand what I'm saying? Because you've got this power,
Exactly.
right? And so it's about that. It's about that character because there are some people who are actually in this position to do good, and then there's some people that's actually in this
Right.
position to do bad. But it all comes from the upbringing too. If you're always in an upbringing that you felt that as long as you're on top, you ain't got to respect nobody. You got to say whatever you want to say. Then
Exactly.
then when you meet people like me and you, Reese, I ain't got no respect for you. I may back away to get my moment, but trust and believe this ain't the end of it. Okay. But then there's some
Exactly.
people that now I have respect for you. Hey, yep, you caught me, you was in the wrong. Okay, I respect you, you respect me, and we get this thing over with. And those are the people that I find myself that I will choose what I'm going to say to them because once again, coming back to a respect for you. But when you're in that position where you really don't have respect for yourself, let alone me, then why should I respect you? And I know that may not be the right way to respond, but that's our natural human way of responding to things, and that's what we ask. That's what we ask the man upstairs to help us with. Like you said, I'm working on that. Me too, because like I said, before I got on this, man, I got out of character a little bit because here this person was falsely accusing me of something and then didn't want to give me the room to respond. And I'm saying, no, that can't happen. So the other side of me that would have probably been like, man, go on, now said, no, we got to handle this here. And so that's where I have to learn to work on and ask, not me myself, but ask the man upstairs and those around me that are looking on the outside to say, hey, how could I have handled that better? And I think that comes with growth. Not maturity, growth, then maturity. That's just me. Someone may disagree.
Hey, I'm with that. I think a lot of things have gone, and people because people have said to me, "Oh, whatever is on your mind comes out." No, no. If what I thought actually came out half the time, it'll be a whole lot of folks upset. But it comes with maturity. It comes with learning. It comes with giving respect to other people. For me, in our last few minutes of the program, I'd like for everybody to make their last comment. Let's start with Chanel, our really quiet person, or I can do Alexis and Anthony if you want to go first. Oh, maybe they didn't even hear. Go ahead, Chanel.
You were asking for closing comments?
Yeah, your closing comments as we close out.
I definitely hear what everybody's saying, and I think that on this panel and also in the comments, there's been a lot of good points for sure. I think there's been a lot of different things to consider. I feel like a lot of it is coming from like a reactive standpoint, and I definitely understand that that's where some people have to work on, growing and so on and so forth. And I'm more on the initiating type of movement. How you react or respond to somebody else is something that you deal with. But in terms of what comes out of your mouth first in initiating conversations or trying to solve a conflict or whatever the case is, that I think is where we need to be mindful, because if less people, right, came out the side of their neck to say something to you to begin with, then you wouldn't
Right.
have so much to react with. So I
And there
think
you
that's
go.
the first part that we need to start with. And just like Brother Rufus said, our words have so much power, right? Something that you say or something that was said to you 15 years ago could still be impacting you in one way or another. And if the person who said it to you knew that it was going to impact you for the rest of your life or for years down the road, do you think that they would have maybe taken 10 seconds, 5 seconds to even just switch up the way that they were going to say it? You know what I mean? So that's my closing thought.
Hey, loved it. Alexis, you and Anthony want to do closing? I know you all have to run. Alexis, you want to do your closing thought? I know you all have to go. You want to do your closing thought?
Sorry, my phone is acting up. I couldn't hear.
I know, I
Um,
figured it.
like I literally can't hear you guys, but I'm gonna say my points because I know that's what you're asking.
Yep.
Okay. I will definitely say in relationships, um, for both ways, I have to learn to not be sensitive to ways that the people I love communicate with me, but at the same time, be able to take the criticism without taking it like the world is ending. And also, um, just be kinder, with and filter ourselves.
Oh, you went out.
It is very important to filter yourselves with people you love because you don't want to hurt people's feelings. You never want to hurt people's feelings, especially the people you love. And yeah, do you have anything to say about the relationship isms? Anything you feel like what we talked about today? Okay. Everything I said is gospel. That's how he feels.
Okay.
He agrees with everything I say. Start
Okay.
rolling.
Bye.
Everything.
Reese, that was Alexis.
I agree mostly with Brother Rufus's point of view. That's all I'm saying. But I do agree with Alexis as well. You can't be too defensive to constructive criticism. If you're just saying something just to say it and it doesn't have any factual basis, then I'm gonna question what you're telling me. But if it does have actual, if it's actually saying something to better me, and relationship wise, you have to sometimes take a pause. Like the 10-second thing he said, that's pretty good. Think about it, receive it, and then better yourself from it. So that's my point of view.
I appreciate that. Rufus, can you do me a favor and read like the last four comments for me, please, before you make your final comment?
Okay, yes. So Angel says, but you do know that a filter you're using or you're being fake, right? Because you really want to tell them off. But again, if you have that for the officer, we have the same temperament for others. Black Man says, thank you, Angel. That was the point. You don't need to actually have respect for another person to show them respect. You think your girl looks fat in a dress? Be honest, but you don't need to be blunt. Angel
Don't have
says,
to be
right.
rude.
Jamila says, defending the character, the same one that lived and became flesh and lived among us of God, has to be more important than defending my own character. Help us, Father. So, okay. So, and Sheila says, my Samson won't let me comment, but ambassadors, thank you all year long for your ministry. Really, all we've gone through nearly 2 years, people still want to treat folks nasty. That was Sheila Bright. Okay. I will say this, and this is my closing thought on it. Every day is going to be a struggle on how we respond to people, and that's just because of the different environments that we're in. We deal with a different environment every day, from church to work, from school to home, from mental abuse to physical abuse to all sorts of different things. And these create things. Chanel said something that was so profound just now in her closing statement, and that was something that you say now can affect you years later. And I'm a product of that. When I was coming out of school, I knew that I was either going to do two things. I was either going to play in the NBA or I was going to be a lawyer, and I always want to be a lawyer. And then I got in trouble. And if I knew now what I knew, if I knew now then, I wouldn't have allowed her words to me, which was the lady who says, well, you've screwed that up. You can't be a lawyer now because you're in trouble. And they call him the pre-sentence investigator. She says, well, you can scratch that off the record now. And man, it just bothered me, right? And I just thought I was done. And, years go by and I read people that had, messed up in their lives and came back, became lawyers, running their own firms, doing their own things. But those words impacted me in that moment. And I just started looking other ways to, okay, what am I going to do now? And so that was a profound message. And I've always told people that was one thing that kind of steered me off that course. Always loved it, still love law, still want to pursue it. But that was what never made me go that right, just because of those words. So think of those words that we do. There's things that we have said as parents to our kids that we figure like, get over it. But years down the road, they're still reeling from these words that I remember when you said this to me, and that is what hurt. And so that profound talent, but most profound responsibility, most profound power. I don't know if you guys are Marvel fans or, like I am, but one of my favorite characters is Spider-Man, and his Uncle Ben always says, hey, with power comes great responsibility. And that's what it is. We hold this great power of words, but with it comes along great responsibility. Regardless of what we do with it, it's up to us. How we use it, how we channel it, is up to us. I know that I have the opportunity to make someone love me or hate me by my words. I know that. I have that power, and it is up to me how I choose to use that. Some days I'm great. I'm good with it. You'll love me. But then some days I just don't care. And I will say whatever I want to say. Is that right? No. But that's something that I have to work on, because I realize that's the gift that I have and that I need to be powerful. And I think that we need to work on that both in our spiritual, both in our families, and both in our workspace, because that is the power that we possess. And so I hope that the listeners that are out there today, all you panelists, shout outs to you, Chanel, Reese, Anthony, who didn't really want to be in the video, but he is, along with Alexa, my sister Pam, and of course, Sonia for having me on. I hope that they get from us the understanding that we have the power of words, and how we use it will determine our relationships now and until the end of time. Thanks.
Pam?
Wow, I'm amazed by just hearing the young people speak. Reese, good point. Chanel, you nailed it. You nailed this, because we look at things so differently. And Reese, as a young man, seeing this perspective of how young men think, that's what we older people need to learn, because we have to learn from y'all. But then we also have to set the example. And it's hard for us grown to actually listen to the younger people, because we tend not to want to listen to you guys. And it's not because we don't want to, it's just because we don't know how to. A lot of them really don't know how to. I'm one of those that I like to listen to my young people. I think I learned so much just by hearing what you all had to say to my brother. But Chanel, you nailed it when you said we have to love each other and still be able to be respectful. And I think it all ties in church, out of church. However, the product is, we still have to learn to be, in this pandemic, be kind to each other. I think we've lost that. There's no more kindness in the world. There's few and far in between. And when I say, I'm not just saying, be kind to someone, but just the kindness of someone saying something nice, like, have a great day. You could be trying to just tell someone, and that day you could talk to someone and they were thinking about committing suicide. But your words that day just said, hey, have a great day. it touches, and words are very powerful. And I think I've learned a lot just listening to your young people, that as we get older, we tend not to listen, but I think I learned a lot from you guys to hear your perspective about relationship. Because if they had done this, right, Sonia, in our time, I think we would be a lot better. They didn't have, they had conversations, but we weren't open like how they're open here. We wish that they were more open in our time, and maybe your parents would do things a little bit different. Not saying everybody parents isn't doing anything wrong, but it's just that in generations we lacked how to listen to the younger generation. And I hope us as the older ones are hearing what the young people are saying, because wow, they got it together. And if we think they don't, y'all our future. I'm looking forward to seeing how you all run the church, because I'm getting older and I'm ready to retire. So, and I learned a lot. It was great being on the panel with you guys.
Okay, well, I learned so much from everybody and everybody's thing. I don't think having a filter means I'm fake. Having a filter means that I am thoughtful about the way I answer anyone. And I want to give the respect that I want to get. So, in answering, the Bible speaks about answering soft turns away wrath. So, a lot of times, especially because I've grown and I've gotten older, I've learned to sometimes it's better to turn a deaf ear and to walk away than to say something. And so I appreciate that. Dasha was having a little bit of difficulty and she wasn't able to actually be on the panel and she really wanted to, but she sent me a text and asked me, would I please read her closing remarks? And I can do this, Angel, without my glasses. It says, my closing points would be communication is vital in any relationship, and most people, male or female, are not good with communications. And a lot of times we can't react always on emotions because it can come from a place that hurtful and cause conflict. Also, I can agree I need to work on me not being sensitive and taking tough talks not personal, but an avenue for growth and self reflection on how to do better in all walks of my life. Real talk. So, in these closing moments, I will say for me, um, I challenge everyone to look inside yourself and to answer people the way you want to be answered. Whether they give it to you rough, step outside of yourself and take on the challenge of just looking at somebody and being like, you know, I hope that you have a blessed day, and just turn the tide. Because sometimes it throws them so completely off that you can turn them away from being that negative person, and maybe you can pass on that positivity in them and they can pass it on to someone else. So I challenge you to do that. Then also, I just want to say, I thank everyone for joining us, for tuning in, for um, taking the time to comment and to be a part of these real conversations. This is our last show for this year. I don't know what's going to happen next year, but no matter what happens,
Wait,
um,
what?
yeah, this is the last show for this year. Everybody had a lot of other things, but Rufus, we can get together and try to do something else if you want to do
Okay.
something for the end of the year. And Angel, hit me up. You, Rufus, and I could do something.
Okay.
But
Okay.
anyway, um, this was going to be our last show. If we come up with something before the new year, we'll send some text messages out, and the pastor hit work with us. But we're trying to do some things, and this is not about just Daughter of Zion. We use our platform, but this is about sending God's love and having real conversations to everybody. And so almost everybody on here is somewhere else. I'm the only one at Daughter of Zion right now, and Daja is at Daughter of Zion, even though she couldn't get on. But Pam's in another state, Rufus is in another state. Oh, Alexis is she's not where I am, but they're further down south. Reese is in another state, Chanel's in another state. So this is not about being in one place. This is about communicating and getting our thoughts out there and being able to be real with each other. Because that's what we need. Because when we're real, we're loving each other and we're coming together. And that's what I want. So even if I can't be on this platform, we're gonna keep Let's Get Real going, because I don't know what elections for next year are gonna be, but we're gonna keep this going. We're gonna keep this going. So I wish everyone a wonderful Christmas. I wish everyone a wonderful New Year. If I don't see anybody else, we are going to be having at the Daughter of Zion Church. If you happen to be in South Florida, we're going to be having a Christmas program. Check out Daughter of Zion SDA on social media, and come on by and enjoy the Christmas program with us. We love you all. Thanks for everything. Thank you to Andre, our wonderful, thanks, Andre, our wonderful tech person. He has held us up through this pandemic, and everybody. And we appreciate him. And the program is going to be at 4 3 it's starting at 3:45 on the 18th, which is next week. And if you are in this area, come on by, join us for a Christmas outside. It's called Christmas in Bethlehem. And so we have some young children going to do a little skit. It's going to be beautiful. But anyway, feel free, drop by if you have the time. We love you. We're out. Andre, you got me this time, right?